Marcus, you got any questions about stenographers or anything?
I saw that was fun.
Equal time.
Nah.
Questions for Marcus?
Marcus, do you ever look at kind of past tournament runs like Kimball Walker, UConn, and Shabazz last year, that the point guard has kind of been the one who has willed the team through the tournament? I mean, does any of that, have you thought about any of that as you guys are trying to advance?
Well, Nate Britt has joked to me about it a couple different times throughout this stretch so far, but I mean, that's really the only time I've thought about it. And, I played well in a couple of games, and there's some similarities there, but other than Nate joking to me about it, a couple of days ago, I haven't thought much. Yeah, he would just like call me Kimball Walker or like Shabazz as a joke, but he likes to do that anyway. He gets up on nerves, but that's my guy, so that's really the only time.
You're saying he was.
Marcus, what's the dynamic been like with your sister this week ever since the Wisconsin matchup came?
Well, I know she's cheering for us. She better be. That's what she told me, at least. I don't know what she's telling her other friends, but she'll cheer for us. She's cheered for Wisconsin the entire tournament because she's friends with a lot of them. But blood runs a little thicker, so hopefully she'll have her Carolina blue line.
With her going there, I mean, did they seriously make a run at you? Did you ever think about, when you were younger, maybe following her there, or was that even a possibility for you?
Yeah, they recruited me for a couple of years. I think their scholarship situation was interesting because they never ended up offering me a scholarship. They were waiting to see what JP Tokuto was going to do, so that's kind of weird how that played out. But they recruited me, and I'm familiar with their coaches and a lot of their players. I had a kid from my high school, Jason Bohannon, who went there, and they went on a deep run when he was there. So I'm really familiar with their program and their coaches and everything. And I did consider them for a while, but now I'm here.
Roy always credits JP for kind of opening his eyes to you. Maybe he's just trying to get you down here to open up his opportunities.
Yeah. Like I said, there's a lot of weird connections and how that played out. But we're both here, and pretty sure we're both happy about it, and it's going to be fun. It's fun playing against people and I played with Sam Decker in a bunch of camps and stuff. I was with Trayvon Jackson in CP3 camp this summer and became friends with him. I know a lot of those guys. JP was teammates with Sam and Bronson, so there's a lot of familiarity, and it'll be really competitive.
Coach Williams said that there's really no update on Kennedy yet. Does being in limbo freak you guys out at all this close to the tournament and to the Sweet 16?
I don't know. It doesn't freak us out, but it is kind of weird to not know what you have going into the game. I saw him today, and he said he was feeling better, but I feel like he would have told me that regardless. So we're really hopeful we'll get him. Wisconsin team has a lot of size, and we'd like to have Kennedy. He's been really big for us all year. But at this point in the year, if he's not able to go, or if he's only able to give us limited minutes, then we just got to roll with what we have. And we're too deep into the season to worry too much about it. We just got to go out there and do what we can do.
You've talked a lot about, I think in the last few games or so, you've been able to hit a few more of the crazy, high off the glass runners or layups and things like that you were kind of reputation for last year. Is there any difference? Is that just being healthy, or is that just are you just kind of consciously saying it's tournament time and I got to hit these shots now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm healthy. That's the biggest part. I'm a little bit more aggressive than I have been attacking the basket. I missed a bunch of them in the first half against Arkansas, and then they started going in. So I don't know what that was all about. But I would just say confidence, health, and just understand that I got to be a playmaker at this point in the year.
And what's the secret to getting those shots off and making them those layups from crazy angles and such?
Well, you see, like being a small guy, going in there against the trees, you gotta be crafty as a finisher, and all good guards have to be able to have a floater and be able to extend and shoot the ball off the board at a bunch of different angles. Otherwise, you're gonna get your shot blocked a lot. So it's just something we practice all the time. Another guy's really good at it is Quinn Cook. He's great in transition, finishing at all different angles and stuff. And that's just what small, crafty guards have to have. So it's something I've worked on a lot.
Justin says that he gets lost in the moment, gets lost in the game, and therefore when he's in a big moment, he's not really thinking about the fact it's a big moment. He's just kind of doing what he does. You've been in a lot of big moments where you've come through. Do you get lost as well in the game, or how much are you recognizing the moment as it's happening?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times losing yourself in the moment is the best way to be successful in that situation. That happens to me a lot. You know, when the game gets on the line, when it gets intense, when, you know, it's a 1 or 2 possession game, you're so focused on what's going on the court, and, you know, your sense of urgency is elevated to such a high level that you're not really thinking about, like, oh, this could win us the game, or, oh, this, like, in the moment, you're kind of zoned out, or, you know, in a good way. I guess zoned in would be a better way to talk about it. But you don't really think about it until there's a timeout or there's a stoppage in play. So, you know, when you're on the court and you're in the moment of making that happen, you don't really think about it at all.
But when you're in the process of, like you even acknowledged the other day, where you're willing the team to another basket and you're the one doing it, how much are you cognizant of that moment at that time when you do take that on yourself?
Yeah, what I'm thinking about that is like coming out of huddles, you know, when teams are at the free throw line and stuff. Once we're playing, you know, that's all instinctual, that's all just natural. But, you know, when you have time to sit back and think about it, you know, when it's the other guy shooting a free throw, that's when it pops into my mind that I need to be aggressive and make a play coming down for us to get a shot or anything like that. So it's more when there's those brief moments in between action to just pause and think about things.
Marcus, you guys are 2 and 5, I think, in games with 65 or fewer possessions. You're playing the slowest team left in the tournament in Wisconsin. I think they averaged 59. What is it about those slow tempo games that give you guys some issues, do you think?
Well, I think it's just so different than the way we want to play that sometimes we have issues with that. And, you know, we've struggled with turnovers. And in a game with less possessions, turnovers become more important. You know, taking care of the ball becomes more important. But we've also, you know, Virginia is the same way, and we had a lot of success against them in the ACC tournament. So we're definitely capable of playing in these games. Obviously, we'd like to play against a team that pushes the tempo like Arkansas, but we understand that Wisconsin's going to get the shot that they want, you know, 95% of the time, no matter how long it takes. We're going to have to be disciplined enough to take care of the ball and guard them for, you know, 25, 30 seconds at a time. So we haven't had a lot of success in those games, but you know, this one could be different, I guess.
Do you feel like you've learned a lot, though, having played those types of games, to kind of understand and know what to expect?
Yeah, I think so. You know, even from the Harvard game, that was a lower possession game. Playing Virginia a couple times this year. A lot of teams in the ACC, even if they're not a team that traditionally plays slow, will slow the ball down against us just because they think that's an advantage. So we've played against that a lot this year. So I think that'll help us moving forward into this game. Wisconsin's one of the best teams in the country at doing that, so we're going to have to, you know, have our A game, you know, no matter how many possessions it is, and really, really value the basketball against them because they don't really hurt themselves.
This is a 2-part question. The answer may be the same. Looking back now, when was the point where you actually felt healthy? And also, when was the point where you felt like things really started to click for you guys that kind of got you into the postseason the way you've played now?
Well, for me, the first game I played, I realized I didn't have any pain, was like Georgia Tech. You know, like halfway through the game, I was like, dang, like I actually feel pretty good. You know, this is good. And then moving on to the Duke game, I had no pain. The one here, and then ever since then, I've been able to play with almost like, you know, not even thinking about my foot at all. So that was a good turning point for me personally. But as a team, I think a lot of our momentum was generated in the ACC tournament. Honestly, you know, beating BC and then Louisville, you know. They say momentum doesn't transfer from tournament to tournament, or you have to. I talked about how you have to generate momentum at the beginning of each tournament you play. But I think we really started to realize if we commit to playing our A game and being solid on both ends of the court, then we're one of the better teams in the country, and we showed that throughout almost the entire ACC tournament. And then you know, we've been playing well so far here.
Against Arkansas the other night, there was a stoppage late where Roy was like talking to the officials. They're trying to sort something out on a timing issue or whatever it was. But you're over there in the huddle, sort of leading the huddle, talking to guys. Is that just sort of an instinctual thing for you? You think those guys like sort of look over to you and say, "Tell us something"?
I don't know if they're looking to me to say something, but I just kind of naturally end up talking a lot in those situations anyway. You know, I talk a lot during the games, whether it's at free throws and huddles and everything. Sometimes I feel like I overstep my boundary in that regard. You know, coach is trying to say something, I'll think of something, and I have to wait because he's the coach. But I always, you know, say 1 or 2 things in each huddle, just because I think my teammates trust that what I'm saying is hopefully helpful. And then coach wasn't there, and so I felt that, you know, I don't know if I like consciously made the decision that I need to talk a lot. Like I don't even remember what you're really
You're really
referencing.
trying to hammer something
But,
on your finger, you're pointing.
Yeah,
pointing.
see, that all is a blur to me right now. I can tell you about every possession in the game, but that part, I don't know, it's just kind of instincts taking over, and if I felt the need to say something, I guess.
I just think one or two more.
We have the big lead, like you had against Harvard, you kind of playing with house money, you're playing well and all that. How conscious are you of them coming back and the announcers call it game pressure? How conscious are you of the game getting closer, and does it change how you feel about the game as it's going on? Does it put any game pressure on a team that has a big lead and then it's slipping away?
Yeah, I mean, getting a big lead doesn't put any pressure on you, but seeing other teams chip away at it, we're definitely aware, they're hitting shots and we're not getting anything on the offensive end of the floor. It's pretty easy to see, that we need to do something differently. So I'm definitely aware of that, and it is a heightened sense of pressure when things aren't going well for you offensively. If you're in a groove offensively and all of a sudden that stops and you go on a scoring lull and the other team is getting baskets and leads dwindling, and you can feel like the crowd getting anxious, especially, because the crowds in the NCAA tournament like to cheer for the underdog. You definitely feel that, and, you got to try to address it as soon as possible.
They say that if you play good defense, it makes it easier to play good offense. If you're playing bad defense with the other team scoring, does it transfer to how hard it is to put more pressure on to score on the other end? Even you need one because they're chipping away.
Yeah, the two ends of the floor I always feel they're always connected, because if you're scoring the ball, then you're going to be more motivated to play defense and get back to offense. If you're not shooting well or you're not scoring, it's harder to sprint back all the way on defense because you're more frustrated that you can't get anything going offensively. And, we're a team that thrives on, creating points off turnovers and getting out on the break. So if they're scoring the basket every time, it's harder to do that. So it's definitely, they're definitely linked.
Marcus, how well do you know, like, Kat and Quinn and Tyus, the other point guard still alive here? I mean, do you guys cross paths much? Is there a relationship there between you guys?
Not so much now, especially at this point in the year, but I mean, in high school it's different. We play against all those guys in the AAU tournaments all the time, see them at camps, and we're friends there, and then we all kind of go our separate ways and deal with our own things, especially ones at state, Duke and Carolina. Not the best of friends in that regard, but I definitely keep up with them, and I love the game, so I watched Kat had 30-some in the ACC tournament. I thought that was phenomenal. Tyus had a great year. Quinn has too. So I like watching great guards play, and that's been one benefit of our league this year. Is we've had amazing guard play, and that's one of the reasons we still have 5 teams in the Sweet 16. So we don't hate each other, and I'm sure all of us respect each other's games, but we don't talk a whole lot right now because we're trying to all advance.
Last one, Charlie.
Marcus, let's talk about, last week you talked about, wanting to get out of this first weekend. Now you have. Now you're flying across the country, playing at the Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles and everything. How fun and cool is that going to be? Knowing that you got a good opponent and all that, but the trip going out west.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. You never want the season to end, and it's winding down. Now I want to make it out of the second weekend. We made it out of the first. Let's make it out of the second weekend. But I'm definitely gonna enjoy this trip, and we're looking forward to the challenge that Wisconsin brings. Our section of the bracket is gonna be really tough. We got Xavier in Arizona on the other side, and us in Wisconsin. So I think it'll be a lot of fun down there, and all 4 of those teams are great. LA is gonna be nice. Weather's gonna be nice. It's gonna be fun to spend some time with my team. And, I'm just really looking forward to the opportunity.
Thank you.